Well, it's a rainy old day here today. Unfortunately, it's going to make it hard to do any proper work on the caravan. The next thing we really need to do, other than getting the floor in, is to pull the roof off, and I don't want to do that obviously if it's raining. But as you can see behind me, a bunch of stuff has arrived this last week. We've had many deliveries show up with all sorts of things that are supposed to go into the caravan. So I thought I'll unload the car and show you guys what we're going to be putting in the caravan as we progress with the build. Let's go. Just before I do unpack everything, just want to have a quick word about our philosophy for this caravan build. We're on quite a tight budget, so we're trying to reuse everything where we can, and where we can't, we're trying to find good value in products. So what Fee's actually done over the last few weeks is she's been scouring the internet based on what we need and trying to find those deals and good prices on things. So we've sourced our items generally from all over the internet, but from within Australia, because freight otherwise is a killer on that. And there's some things which we've gone for the cheapest version, and there's some things which we've maybe gone for the middle of the road version because we know it'll be better in the long run. Now, the things that I've gone for the cheapest version are things that I'm not quite sure of, and so I don't want to spend too much money before understanding how they work. So stuff like the solar and the power system, I'm still kind of getting my head around that. So I've really gone for the cheapest version. And as I learn, as I go, I can replace the bits that I think need replacing as I gain that knowledge. So to start with, I've just gone for the cheaper stuff, and we'll see how that works. The other consideration is we're not going to use this caravan very often. We plan to definitely use it for holidays and trips away, but it won't be getting used. Like, we're not retired, we still work, so we won't be using it super often. So I didn't want to put heaps of value in here. So for stuff like this, the power systems and the solar, you could spend thousands of dollars getting really fancy, cool gear, but it would just be overkill. The other thing that we have to be aware of is it's quite a small space. It's only a 16-foot caravan, and we want to have everything in it that makes it comfortable to go camping or touring. So we want the shower, we want the toilet. We use them all the time, but we definitely want them in there. And so we just have to work out how do we squeeze that all in. So multi-purpose areas, that sort of thing. And clever packaging, really, at the end of the day. We just have to try and squeeze all the systems into the van and make it work for us. So anyway, that's enough of me waffling. Let's open some boxes. All right, we're going to start with this box here. And based off the picture, it looks like a roof hatch, which it certainly is. And there it is, the roof hatch, designed to fit a 400 by 400 hole. So when I redo the roof rafters, I'm going to space them around about 400 apart. So this should slot in nicely. Like most caravan roof hatches, it's got the fly screen and it's got the block out blind as well. Quite like that they magnet together, so you can sort of move them both at the same time. It's got a built-in light, so we do have two of these, so we're going to use these hopefully for the main lighting in the cabin. And double glazed like most of these roof hatches are. Now, I don't know what we paid for this. I will mention the prices of some of the items as we go that I know, but what we're going to do when we finish the caravan is actually sit down and run through the entire budget for those of you who are interested. I know that other people who want to build or kit out their caravans might be some really useful information. So we've got all that. Fee's been recording everything on a spreadsheet, and we will sit down at the end of the build and discuss exactly what it cost. There we go. Roof hatch. Right, what's next? Okay, next box, and keeping with the theme, it is another hatch, but this one has a built-in fan, I think. Yes, it does. And of course, we'll be using this in the shower as an extractor fan. Also has a built-in light, so it's going to be the light in the shower / bathroom. And let's see if we can get that off. And it's got a built-in extractor fan as well, so that's going to be great in there to get rid of all the shower steam or any nasty smells from the loo. Okay, this is slightly less interesting. So I ordered all the lights for the caravan, like the towing or driving lights, I suppose. So we've got some retro-styled rear lights and bulbs, and we've got some what's this one? Got one for the license plate. So that'll go on the back to light up the license plate. And we also have side lights. So in Australia, once your vehicle or your trailer is a certain width, you're required to have these marker lights on the side, red facing to the rear and amber to the front. So replace the old ones that were on there that were broken. So another small box full of goodies. This here, we're going to replace the outside water inlet hatch. This one has a stuff in it. Has a dual sort of input, so we can have that just runs down to the inbuilt water tank, and this one here will be mains pressure water. So we'll have a dual system in the Caravan. That means if we're at a caravan park, we can just plug into the hose tap that's there and run off mains pressure. And if we don't, we will be using this thing here, which is the water pump. So this will pump from the onboard tank and pressurize the system in the Caravan. So that'll be useful. I think it came with a filter. What else is in here? So this is nothing to do with the water, but this is the power point inlet. So in Australia, you are required to have a 15 amp power input for 240 volt. So that will serve the purpose there. You can tell it's 15 amp because the earth pin is much bigger than standard. Righto, another box with the giveaway on the side there. This is a step. The old step on the van was very rusty, but it also been driven into something. It was all buckled and bent, so it wasn't ever going to work again. This will be a nice new step, which will bolt underneath the chassis, and in theory, just not quite sure how it works. I guess it just folds out somehow. Am I missing something? Probably some sort of button or locking mechanism that I'm not seeing. Oh, there we go. So this will bolt up underneath the Caravan and folds out like this and provides a nice, lovely step to get in. And it's mostly aluminium, so that'll stop it going too rusty. These brackets are steel, but they look powder coated, so hopefully they last a while. Now, how do I fold it back in again? Oh, far out. Okay, that's how you do it. Righto. So onto the kitchen things. So we've got a sink and a teeny tiny Caravan size dish rack, so that'll be fun. What's this thing? This is like one of those, you know when you sit in a bus and they've got like the netting on the back of the seat in front of you so you can put your magazines and stuff in it? I think that's what that is. So Fee must have had some sort of idea for that. And this is our sink. Now, it's quite large, but we were thinking, you know, no one likes a pokey little sink in a Caravan, so we're hoping to be able to squeeze this larger, more domestic sized sink in there. That remains to be seen. If it doesn't work, we'll just sell this one and get a smaller sink, but we're hoping to use this. I don't really want to unwrap it all just to show you what it is, but it's a round sink with a drain board on it. So yeah, that's that. Next. And you can see what's on there, Thetford. That gives away really what this is going to be. If you know anything about Caravans, you know that it's going to be a toilet. And yes, it is a Caravan toilet. So there's the lid. And it is designed, I'm not going to pull it out the box, I'll tip it over so you can see. It is, got it. It's designed to fit within like a shower recess or a shower room. So it's 670 side to side. So we're going to design our shower to be 670 and maybe a 1100 or something long, whatever we can squeeze in. And this sort of sits in one part of that shower cubicle, and it's designed to, you know, get wet, be showered on, so we can multi-use that shower toilet space. So that's the toilet. Has a cartridge in it which pulls out the side through the side of the van, and you empty that in a dump station or in somebody's toilet if you're sneaky. And there's the hatch that these things. They don't. Fee got a really good price on this. I'm not sure where she found it, but they don't come with the hatch. You have to buy the hatch for like an extra $100. So anyway, we've got the hatch as well. It should just come with the hatch. You'd think it would, but anyway, that's the toilet. Right, let me get it back together. Oh, there's a bit of weight in this one. Okay, and does it say what's on there? So this is the hatch for it. This is the hot water system. Let me get out the box and I'll show you. Oh, there's just a random bolt in the bottom of the box. Anyway, put it back in there. So this is the hot water system. We went with a tank-based system. So essentially there's two types. There's instant hot water, that like on gas, which just heats the water as it's flowing. And then there's the tank type, which holds a certain amount of water, heats it up like a domestic kind of a hot water cylinder situation. This one here, we went with that because after talking with some caravan experts, you know who you are, Rob, he said with the on-demand hot water, sometimes because there's quite a small flow, the temperature can fluctuate a bit, and he recommended going with the tank. Now, the other reason I wanted to go with this particular tank here is because it runs on 240 volt and it runs on gas. So that means no matter where we are, if we're at a caravan park or at someone's house, we're plugged in, we've got hot water. If we're off grid, we're on gas, we've got hot water. So it's multi-purpose. So it's going to be really useful. It's a 20 litre tank, this one, which should be enough for one shower. And then I think it's about a half hour to heat up another tank load for Fee's shower after I've had mine. So yeah, that's this here, the other box. That's the hatch that goes on the outside of the van. Obviously when the gas is firing up, it needs to vent out the side, not inside the van. And it takes up a fair amount of room, but we're gonna have to squeeze it in somewhere. Cool, all right, next. Okay, a couple of other smaller boxes. What's in here? Yes, so Fee ordered some like reading lights. They're going to just mount overhead and allow us to read books and things, and they have a USB port on them, which will be convenient. That just saves another bit of extra wiring. We can just run everything to the one unit and charge our phones and read stuff. And this box is, what is this? Oh, it's the mixer. Shower mixer. Oh yes, no. This is the kitchen tap, I'm pretty sure, and it's got a, what do you call that? You can pull the end out and use that to rinse your dishes off and pop it back in there, and it just works like a standard kitchen tap, I guess. So that's that. Okay, let's start talking about power. Oh, these are heavy. So these are the batteries. I've got two of these. I'm not going to get the other one. We'll leave it where it is. They weigh about 30 kilo. I went for these slimline batteries because I'm hoping to put them right in front of the wheel arch, because that's going to be like underneath the seat, and there's going to be wasted space between the edge of the wheel arch and the front of the seat cabinet. And I'm hoping these slot into that space nicely and use up that space. Like I said before, it's a small van. We've got to kind of cheat as much space as possible. These are 120 amp hour batteries. I've got two of them, so that's 240 amp hours. Is that enough? No idea. Never done this power system stuff before, which is why I've gone with the King's brand. It's fairly well known, loved and hated here in Australia. It's quite consistently the cheapest option when you're looking at this power and sort of outdoor adventure camping type stuff. And it's the cheapest option usually for a reason. But like I said before, I don't know much about this power stuff, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of money. I mean, some of that like EcoFlow gear and everything, amazing stuff. And you could drop 10K easy on an awesome setup. We don't need that for our van that we're going to use occasionally. I'm going to stick primarily with the King stuff until either it doesn't work and I know what I need to get to replace it, or maybe it works fine for what we use it for, and that way I've saved a bit of money. So I think these batteries were around about $200 a piece, plus freight. Freight was quite high on that, obviously, because they're heavy. All right, what else have we got? So to control the batteries, I've got this thing here. It is a Thunder battery management system. Now, I wanted a one-box solution, so I didn't want solar controllers, I didn't want DC to DC chargers, and then an AC to DC charger and all that sort of stuff. I just wanted one box I could plug everything into, and then that looked after the batteries. And this looks, well, it looks like it fits the bill. Again, it's a very cheap option. Most of the prices I saw for this unit, this Thunder battery management system, where's the model number? TDR02026. Most of the prices I saw for this were around about $1,000, and then I stumbled across Repco had it on clearance for $430. So I bought one. And if it does what it claims to do, it will be an awesome one-box solution. So essentially, you've got the management system. This takes a feed from 240 volt, it takes a feed from your car alternator, and it takes a feed from your solar panels. And we're going to have all three of those options available to us. So when we're plugged in, we're going to be charging the battery system and keeping everything topped up. When we're off-grid, we're going to be charging it as we're driving along. So I'll run a feed from the car battery alternator back to this unit here, which will keep the van batteries topped up as we're driving. And when we're stopped, we'll put the solar out and we'll be charging with the solar all through this one unit. Comes with a remote, well, like a panel that can be remote. It's on the side at the moment, but that can detach and we can mount that where all the other sort of control stuff is for all the power system. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Worryingly, I haven't found a single review for this system online, which is either a good or a bad thing, I suppose. It's either very new and out and no one's made a review on it yet, or no one's bought one. Anyway, we'll find out when it all goes together. So like I said before, we've got some solar panels that are going to keep the batteries charged when we're off-grid. Well, hopefully keep them charged. Again, I've gone with the King's brand. The sky's the limit when you want to spend money on solar panels. And because I don't really know what I'm doing, I just, again, went for the cheapest option. These are a 250 watt panel, and I've bought two of them. So in theory, that's 500 watts. Now, I'm under no assumption that we're going to get 500 watts out of these panels. We'll probably get, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of that out of these cheaper panels, but that's fine. That's why I bought two. So they fold out. There's a solar panel on each side. Now, if I was designing this, I would have made it fold so the panel part's on the inside to protect it. But anyway, I'm not their product designer. They can figure that out themselves. So this folds out flat and sits up on some legs, and will connect into that power management or the battery management system I showed a second ago, and hopefully do the job. Time will tell. So for those of you who are interested in the power side of things, I'm quite interested in it. I don't know much about it, but I'm just learning as I go. I mean, Google's great for that, isn't it? And I'm going to just document the way I put everything together and the reasons why I'm doing it that way. So that'll be an upcoming episode at some point when we are ready to start kitting out the power system in the van. So if that interests you, keep tuned for that. And the last piece of the puzzle for the power system is an inverter. Now, we weren't going to bother with an inverter. I was just going to make everything in the van 12 volt and have a power point which only works when we're plugged into in a caravan park or something like that. But I was talking to a friend of mine who knows caravans, again, hi Rob, and he said because we're using our old fridge, which is gas and 240 volt only, it doesn't have a 12 volt option, what I wanted to do was to run the fridge while I'm driving, and he said, well, just put an inverter in there, run it on 12 volt while you're driving. It doesn't matter how much power it draws because you're generating that power as you drive. And when you get to where you're going, flick it over to gas, good to go. So that led us down the track of getting an inverter. And then Fee mentioned something about a hairdryer, having that capability available, and I thought, why not? So we got a 1500 watt inverter, and this will power all the 240 volt circuit when we are off grid. Again, it was King's, it's pretty cheap. There are quite a few reviews of this online. Guys have had some pretty good experience with them. Some guys haven't, bit hit and miss. We'll see how we go. For the price, I thought it's worth grabbing. And that's it, almost. One more thing is Fee's purple kettle, which she must have seen while she was looking at caravan stuff. And she's a sucker for anything shiny. So this must have popped up on her feed, no doubt, and she's bought a purple kettle for the caravan. This will definitely be the hero piece, as they say. When we've finished the van, this can take pride of place on the cooktop, I guess. Good job, Fee. And that really is it. That's all the packages we've got. I haven't showed everything because we've got double ups of some stuff, but we are getting there with all the stuff that we need. Now, we ordered it all now because we need to know the dimensions and how it's all going to go together so we can actually design with it in mind. I don't just want to kit out the inside and then we buy something and it won't fit in the place, or the pipe, running the pipes to it's too awkward or something like that. So now that we've got it there, once the floor goes down, we're going to be able to map out and mark where everything's going to go. And that's going to determine how our walls and how the structure sort of all comes together. So yeah, exciting times. Anyway, bit of a different episode today. It's still raining outside, unfortunately. It probably will be a no-go for any caravan work today. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that, what we're going to be putting in. Stay tuned for more caravan action. See ya.